Hello there, Steve-Os. Welcome to this week's episode of the movie wrap-up. How many movies have I watched this week? I literally spent all day yesterday, Saturday the 8th of June 2024, after I finished work. I literally spent all afternoon just watching movies, just so I could solely do this movie wrap-up episode for you guys to watch and hear my thoughts on some of the latest movies that I've watched. So without further ado, guys, let's start this week's movie wrap-up with the first movie that I've watched and reviewed this week. You're watching Steve's Movie Wrap-Up, episode 30, right here on SteveOfficial. The first movie we're reviewing in this episode is Hitman. So the first movie that I watched this week was Hitman, which, by the way, I did give 3 stars over on Letterboxd. So Hitman was released on Netflix on June 7th, 2024 around the world after a very short theatrical release, which I did unfortunately miss. However, did I enjoy this movie? Well, partially yes and partially no. Partially yes, because I don't know why, but I felt as though this movie was giving off either late 70s vibes or early 80s vibes, and that was literally from the opening titles of this movie. It just had that kind of aesthetic to it. Secondly, I love the way how we get to see the lead of the movie, Glenn Powell, show his range as an actor, as we see him with various different looks and disguises that he wears all throughout this movie. I also love that this movie is also based on a true story as well. Part of the movie was made up, and they even admit this towards the end of the film, as the guy that the movie is based on, called Gary Johnson, didn't commit any murders, whereas in this movie Gary Johnson, the fictional character played by Powell, actually did commit a murder. As for partially no, for the reason why I didn't enjoy this movie is the fact that there was something about this movie which for me kind of made it feel empty. It does have a running time of 1 hour and 55 minutes, but there was something about this film which made me feel like there was something missing. Was it that Glenn Powell was the only main actor that I knew in the film? Did he need more recognisable faces in the film? I just don't know. However, though, what I can positively say about this film is, yes, I did enjoy the plot of the film, and yes, I did enjoy the script and dialogue for this movie as well. I thought that was done rather well. I should also point out that Hitman is the 100th movie that I have watched and reviewed this year, in the year 2024, and I am glad that there are more positives than I have for this movie than negatives. Is this a movie that I will watch again? Yes, this is a film that I would happily watch again on Netflix. For those wanting to know what this movie is about, it's about a mild-mannered professor moonlighting as a false contract killer who sparks a chain reaction of trouble when he falls for a client whom is played by Adria Arjona. Hitman is now available to stream globally on the streaming service Netflix. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Die Hard 2, Die Harder, I gave 1 star over on Letterboxd. So Die Hard 2, Die Harder, did we need a sequel to this abysmal movie? Like, I remember reviewing the first one, I'm sure I did, and if I didn't review that, I can confirm that I remember watching the first one a couple of years ago when it was released on Prime Video, and yeah, that one felt like a straight streaming movie, whereas this one, not only did it feel like another straight streaming movie, but also it just felt like it was even worse than the first film that came out in the last couple of years. The start of the movie felt like I was watching Kevin Hart having a meeting with someone at Amazon or MGM to sign him up on board to do a sequel to the first one. That's genuinely how it felt when that scene played out. The script is also just abysmal, if not even worse than the script in the first movie, and also the comedy in this just felt so forced as well, so that I didn't even laugh once at all. All I wish is that I could just get that 1 hour and 30 minute runtime that this movie has back, because this was a waste of 90 minutes. Also, I really hope that Amazon and MGM don't make a third one, because it's bad enough we have been given 2 of these movies, which a sequel we really didn't need at all. I'm genuinely convinced as well that the script was actually, at times, was written either by ChatGPT or AI, because at times that's also how it felt when listening to the characters' dialogue throughout this really bad movie. Actor and comedian Kevin Hart plays himself in this movie alongside Ben Schwartz and John Cena, who are supporting cast members in this movie. And in case you do want to check this movie out for yourself, even though I recommend watching something better than that, then feel free to check this movie out, as Die Hard 2 Die Harder is available to stream now on Amazon Prime Video, along with the first movie titled Die Hard. The Lie. So the next movie that I've watched this week is The Lie, which I gave 3.5 stars over on Letterboxd. The Lie is one of those films that, yes, I have seen it before, and yes, I do love to revisit, but it's one of those films that are on Amazon Prime Video that I can never forget, and one that I always do enjoy going back to and rewatching from time to time, despite the fact that this got released back in 2019, so nearly 5 years ago, and here we are 5 years later nearly, and I am still rewatching this movie and absolutely enjoying this movie to this day. And this also happens to be one of those movies that I would definitely recommend to someone if they ever asked me if I knew of any good movies to watch that's on Amazon Prime Video. This is by far one of those movies that I definitely would recommend to them for sure. Definitely not Die Hard or Die Hard 2, okay? The fact that this was also produced by Blumhouse as well, again, this makes it one of my favourite movies that they have produced in the past, alongside some of their other projects that they have done. But what I do love most about this is not just the amazing performance that the actors and actresses give in this movie. Not only do I think the music scoring also captures the emotion throughout the movie as well, but there is a twist at the end, which I won't spoil that for anyone who that hasn't seen it yet. But for anyone that does watch this for the first time though, the twist at the end they definitely won't see coming, and that is the most enjoyable thing that I love about this movie. So The Lie is now available to watch over on Amazon Prime Video. Jackdaw. And finally this week, the movie that I have watched is Jackdaw over on Netflix, which I gave 1.5 stars. So Jackdaw is a movie which came out last year in 2023. I do remember seeing this being listed in cinemas, but this was for a limited time only, which unfortunately I didn't go and watch. Did I regret this decision though? No, I didn't regret it. So Jackdaw recently released here in the UK on the streaming service Netflix after its short theatrical run last year, and as you can tell I have given this movie a 1.5 star rating. Why? Well, the 1 star is because Jenna Coleman does star in this movie and she's a great actress, but secondly, the movie does hold up a somewhat decent soundtrack as well. The main lead, or the main character, is rather unlikable to be honest, although that being said, I do think that the audience would warm to the character towards the end of the film, which for me I did, but this is an action-based movie and this didn't really do anything original to make it stand out from other action movies you may have seen and loved in the past, which is unfortunate. The movie just feels bland and also feels rather boring at times, which is a shame. Because I have had this movie on my watch list on Letterboxd for quite some time and have been looking forward to seeing this one for a while as well. So when I knew that this movie was hitting Netflix here in the UK, I definitely was looking forward to finally getting around to watching and reviewing this movie. For those wanting to know what the movie is about, it is about a former motocross champion and army veteran now caring for his younger brother. Whilst being broke, he agrees to do an open water pickup of a mysterious illegal package in the North Sea. A resulting double cross and his brother's disappearance set him and his old bike on a violent nocturnal odyssey through England's northern Rust Belt. Now, I'll be honest, seeing all the cast members here, the only one that I do recognise is Jenna Coleman, who has been in previous roles in British soap opera Emmerdale, Doctor Who, and the recent TV series on Amazon Prime Video titled Wilderness. Everyone else in the cast I don't really know or haven't seen in any other projects from my understanding anyways. One final thing I do want to say about this movie that I did have a problem with is the balance of the music scoring and the dialogue, because There was times throughout this film where I found it quite hard to understand what certain characters said, because the music score was overpowering the dialogue being said in the film. But I still don't want this to take away what I said earlier in the review, and that is that this movie does have some decent songs in terms of soundtrack, because it does. In case you do want to check this movie out for yourself though, Jackdaw is now available to stream on Netflix here in the UK. And that is all the movies that I've watched and reviewed this week for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what movies you guys have been watching this past week, whether it's old, new, in the cinema, on streaming, whatever streaming platforms it is. Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, feel free to hit that subscribe button to become a Stevo. I will be back tomorrow, the 10th of June 2024, with a brand new episode of the weekly vlog, which, by the way, is going to be a super mega packed, very long episode of the weekly vlog this week, because I've just done so much. I've done a little bit of food tasting, I've had another getaway as well, so yes, all that has been vlogged and will be appearing in my next episode of the weekly vlog. But until then though, it's goodbye, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys again in my next YouTube video.